Hi, what's going on, everybody? I'm making a salsa. I'm going to make my salsa. I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. I got some organic tomatoes down at Oriana, and these kind of organic tomatoes too. So instead of parboiling, skinning, chopping, getting the seeds out and all that stuff, I'm cheating on my salsa, getting those canned tomatoes. I don't mind so much because a lot of times canned tomatoes the tomatoes have been picked at peak ripeness and then immediately sent to the processing center that is going to can it. So there's information out there that canned tomatoes can often be more nutritious and fresher than tomatoes you get locally because they may have been shipped from someplace else quite green, and that is not at peak of nutrition. The tomatoes at the peak of nutrition when it has stayed on the vine until it's ready to be picked. So I think it's a pretty good choice, and it's saving me time. So I'm going to use parsley. I have cilantro. I got some fresh oregano here that I'm going to put in there. I have peppers, green peppers, some red and orange peppers, and I'm going to chop this garlic up a little bit finer. I'm going to use turmeric. I'm going to use curry powder and some celery salt in there. So I'm going to put all that stuff in there, and this time I'm going to use a kefir culture, which I got at Oriana, and is also available at Apple Valley and Cadillac. And so what I'm going to do is I've taken a cup of sucanate, and I've got 2 packages because of the volume that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to put those starter cultures in there, and these are kefirs, just like we had shown you. But I want to get those going so they're already started and working. And the sugar helps get them going, and then they'll get to work on the food, and they slowly just take over the whole system. But I think when we have local foods, they're going to have some probiotics on them too, and they'll all kind of work together. So we're going to let nature do its smart thing and not get too involved in trying to manipulate the process. Okay, I'm going to grind up my garlic. I've got this really neat little device here. Put your garlic inside, spin it, and that minces it. So I'm going to do that with the garlic now, and then put that in my jar together now. I got the onions in there. I got my parsley and cilantro. You got to destem the cilantro and the parsley and then chop it up good. Or you could use dried cilantro or parsley to save some time. So a lot of these things you can use store-bought stuff. You could even take store-bought salsa and then just add your sugar and ferment to get it going and put that in a pre-made salsa, and you're going to end up with a probiotic in a few days. So you can take ketchup, mustard, any of this stuff, and then just add a starter culture to it. Let it ferment for a few days to a few weeks, and you'll have it. I can tell you, when it comes to ketchup and mustard, I'm probably just going to take store-bought organic stuff and then add a culture to it, let it ferment, and then those condiments will be probiotics too. You can start from raw and scratch if you want, or you can take something that's already prepared and just turn it into a probiotic as easy as a culture starter with a culture food, and inulin can also do it if you don't want any sugar in there, or you can even use refined sugar. It will change it into a product that's okay for you. So with that, I put about a teaspoon of the herbs in there, and I'm ready to just mix, and I'll put it in the jar, and I'll show you what it all looks like when we're done. Here and there, I'm going to pour my starter in there, and then I'll put some more veggies and stuff until I'm at a good level. I can probably get about another inch worth of stuff in there, and I'll use a little water to get what's stuck in there. So I'm just stirring all this stuff up. It sure is colorful, and it smells great. I'm just using my knife to stir it all up. We want everything mixed up really well so all those probiotics got a chance at everything in there. And I'm going to leave that right about there. That gives room for expansion. And it's very liquidy, so we're good with that. And I think I'm just going to use my finger. It's all clean. Back at you. Okay, here it is. I got my bubbler on. Looks good, smells good. Can't tell you that over the video though. So that'll sit for about a day and a half, 3 days probably max. With the temperature maybe as much as 5 days, and we'll check it. You don't want to open it up for the first couple of days because you want to get it to an anaerobic state. That much will probably last 2 people. That's almost 4 liters. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with more stuff. Talk to you.